Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ask the Unicorn. I am Ahura Z, and this is my stealthy sidekick, Nirkazi.
Hello, today is July 12th, 2016, and it is episode 91.
It is episode 91, and we're looking forward to a fun show this evening. I will answer questions, any questions of a metaphysical, spiritual, paranormal, or mystical nature. However, there are two types of questions that I do not answer, and that is whether or not someone is going to die or whether or not someone is cheating on someone. If you have those types of questions, you need to deal with the person that you're asking about. Beyond that, just about everything is fair game as long as we can all learn from it and that we can all benefit from it. Now, that being said, I have students and many of the students have really deep questions about what it is that they're going through. I would ask all of my students to just hold your questions, your personal questions, and keep the questions very general. And if you'd like to, for those of you that are new to the show, if you'd like to call in, you can, and that's an area code 207-347-5686, and we'll actually have your voice on the TV. Or if you can also join our chat room and ask your questions this way, and we'll get them. Now, all of that being said, before we start the show, I would like to give a shout out to all of the independent filmmakers in the New England area. We're all working very diligently to bring you all wonderful entertainment, and there are some wonderful movies that should be coming out this year, this year and next year. And there are some wonderful people that are making films that are colleagues of mine: Paco Seth Roberts, Alan Dillingham, and of course myself. And we look forward to having your support in our films. Now, we have had a lot of turmoil in our country this week, and the turmoil has been quite ugly. As you all know, there have been several shootings all in 1 week, and it's been so tragic. I mean, there were people that died needlessly. And we've had cases of unnecessary police shootings, and then we've had actual police being shot and losing their lives. And I need to say this. I know that we're all frustrated. I know that we're all angry. I know that we're having a hard time dealing with the death of these two young men and the death of the police officers, but we have got to get a grip. Okay? We have got to get a grip. First off, someone dying is never a good thing. Someone being shot is never a good thing. There are a lot of movements out there. You know, there are the Black Lives Matter movement. There's people who are protesting Black Lives Matter, and there are people who say all lives matter. And I think that they all say the same thing, which basically says that we all matter. We matter, and we need to get out of this thing of hurting each other. Now, there are a lot of us that are very dissatisfied with the police, and mainly men of color and people of color that are very dissatisfied with the race ratio in the police department. And but you have to know this. You really have to know this. The police are doing their best. I mean the actual police, not those people that just got a gun and a badge so that they can go around and bully people. Those are not policemen. I mean those policemen that sacrifice their lives daily to try to serve and protect. Those people that wear that uniform with honor and serve the way that it's supposed to be served. I'm talking about those people. They are doing their best to find those people that are poisoning their names. It's just that, as I was talking to a police officer, they are doing their best. It's just hard. They're having a hard time locating these people that just got in there so that they can have a license to bully, so they can have a license to kill, so that they can have a license to destroy the very name and reputation of law enforcement. Now, I understand. Black people are tired of being patient. People of color are tired of being patient. I have news for you. Everybody's tired of being patient. Our system is malfunctioning, and it has malfunctioned for quite some time. Things are being done to correct it on one end. On the other thing, we all need to make ourselves aware of the things that are being done while we're being distracted, fighting each other, while we're being distracted, hurting each other, while we're being distracted, destroying things. Destroying things is not good. You don't destroy your own neighborhood or your own community. You don't do that. That's insane. That is not going to help anybody. By the same token, one of the best things that you can do is exactly what has been happening out there, is to record things that are going on so that we are all informed. But when you are doing that, show some responsibility. Don't go up to a police officer yelling in his face, because he's probably going to react. Okay, don't do that. Don't back down. You stand your ground, but stand your ground respectfully. Do you understand? Don't go hurling threats at policemen. And I've heard that that's actually going on. These bad people that are going around being part of hate groups that are joining the police force, they're scattered all over the place, and they will find them. They will find them. And you can help them find them. But don't go threatening police. You may need them. No, it's not cool to say, fuck the police, because you may need them.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Ooh.
It is not good to hurl threats at them. You let them know how dissatisfied you are. You can say all of the things that you have to say, because we live in the type of country that allows us to say whatever we have to say. However, we do not threaten each other. That is against the law. Unfortunately and unfortunately, the very people that you are threatening represent the law. My suggestion: show some love. Don't be where you know you're not supposed to be. And if you are in a place and you're out in public, you be the epitome of respect. You be the epitome of decency. You do all of those things that you know that you are supposed to do in public. Don't go out. Listen, law enforcement is not pleased with marijuana becoming legal. Law enforcement is never pleased with you being drunk and disorderly in public. Now, I am not telling you people to be cheap. What I am telling you is stop the madness. Tell your friends that say, well, we're going to go out and protest. Okay, great. We can go out and protest, as is another one of our rights. However, when you start getting boisterous and being bold enough to go up to a policeman and start yelling in his face, I am done with you. At that point, I am going home. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to watch you on TV and hope you don't get hurt. We've had some tragedy in this country. We've had some sick tragedies in this country. Young men being shot for no real apparent reason. And policemen who were not the ones that did it, being killed because someone got a hold of a gun. Now, I'm all for the Second Amendment. I'm all for that. You have the right to bear arms. We all do. But did it ever dawn on you, by casting threats, by being ugly, by people getting shot, that could be the very thing that leads to you losing that right? And we're all brave people, most of us, except for those that go around and bully people. And that's on both sides. But bravery means that you have enough bravery within yourself to not threaten. You have enough bravery to take the educated route. Listen, personally, if a police officer comes and asks for my ID, fine. Here's my ID. Where am I going? Me? Either work or home. You know? And yeah, I get it. You don't want to be questioned. And we all have the right not to show our IDs if we are not doing anything. Or if the officer comes and approaches us and we feel like we're being harassed, that's great that you feel like you're being harassed, but based upon some of the current events, don't you think it would be a better move to cooperate? Granted, one of the young men did cooperate.
Yeah,
and I'm very, very sorry for that. And I got no explanation for that other than that officer needs to be fired. Fired and never hired by another law enforcement agency ever again. Mm-hmm. And those that have been fired, no police agency should ever hire them again. But understand, they are a small minority. So I have to speak on behalf of the police force this evening. I know some very good police officers. And they don't associate with people that do that. So give them a break. Help them out. They are people just like you. And those families of the police officers that you know are hiding behind a badge and bullying people because I know that they talk to you about things, you need to report them. This is a beautiful country. We have beautiful ways. We have magnificent things that we can offer the whole world, and the world is always watching us. Why don't we give them something good to watch? We are fully capable of that. We can give them magnificent things to watch, magnificent things to know about America, beautiful things. Trump does not represent America. Anybody who views anything racist does not represent America. Hillary doesn't represent America. We represent America, all of us together. We represent America. This is our America. And we need to defend it. And we defend it by not allowing those things to happen. By not allowing the ugliness to happen. Ling.
She's got an itch and she can't get it because she's so big.
My dog's going to have puppies. Ling's going to have puppies. And she's so fat right now.
She's so fat she can't reach her
back
to scratch her butt. Oh.
But
poor girl.
We need to show them that we are the America that they've dreamt of. We are different colors. We are many different colors. Many, many different ways of life. Many, many different beliefs, and all one race. One. So tell everybody, let's just stop the madness, okay? Let's just stop the madness. Whether you like it or not, we matter. And I'm not going to call us different categories because we all matter. Right now, we have an issue. There are Black people that are being subjugated to things that are unfair. So yes, Black lives do matter.
Excuse me, I have to go take care of this.
And at the same time, so do the white lives that are supporting the Black lives. And the brown, and the yellow, and the red. We all matter. We are one race. We are all one race. We need to stop the madness. Okay, I had to talk about this because it saddened me that there are wonderful police officers that are just doing their best, that are doing their best every single day. And every single day, they run the risk of not being able to come home to their families. And some of them did not come home to their families. And they were not the ones that did anything bad. And at the same time, there were people out there that one young man got shot right in front of his 4-year-old daughter, killed. That's not supposed to happen here. That's tragic. And people are angry about it. Okay. And we're all angry. But let's not do things to create more angry, because underneath all of this anger, those that are orchestrating all of this are watching us scramble around like squirrels in a maze trying to get a nut while they do all sorts of nasty things while we are bickering. So how about we flip the script? How about we show love? How about we show peace? How about we show those things that are the beautiful parts of our lives to the mother and girlfriend of that young man, and the wife and children of that other young man that were brutally shot in the middle of the street? On the behalf of humanity, I so apologize. I am so sorry. For those officers that got killed senselessly and needlessly, I apologize on behalf of humanity. My life gift to you with beautiful blessings. And for all of you that are out there suffering, for all of you that are doing your best yet getting nowhere, we apologize. And we pray on behalf of you. The blessings do come your way. The positivity and light come your way. That it land around and about you and keep you from harm. All of you, spread the joy, spread the love. It's time for it. Let's just stop. And if you stand alone in doing that, then stand alone. If people turn away from you because you've decided, no, I am not going to be ugly anymore. No matter what comes, I will be myself, and the picture of the godhood that is on the inside of me, the royalty that I have been bestowed by the Holy Spirit itself and not by men, then stand alone. Let them turn away from you. You be the one that when you extend your hand in friendship. You be the one that decides not to go jumping on people's cars, not to flipping cars over, not to be the one that burns whole neighborhoods. You be that person. You be that person that pushes the car out of the road because you have the muscle. You be that person. And if any of your friends has a racist view, then they are not your friends and you need to separate from them. Until which time they see the light. All right, I need to get on with the show.
Yeah, you do. You have
I just need to say that.
Commenting
Okay.
and
Go
ahead. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Sorry if I don't get everybody.
Shout out to everybody who's watching.
Vasu might be watching later. Carrie, Miyoko, Smiley, Michelle, and Sheila. Say hi.
Hello.
And we also have your new adopted person
Oh,
and your new Hanai daughter there, or yeah, Eva Davidova.
yeah, Davidova.
Eva.
Aloha.
Hi, she's in London. Awesome.
Hi. It's good
Thanks
to hear
for
from you.
watching.
Thanks for watching.
Let me see who else. Lucia, Natalia, and Chisel Chest say hi. Hi, guys.
Hello. Good to have you all.
Eva says, hello, so nice to see you listening and sending aloha from London.
Wonderful.
Lucia says, hey guys, I'm going to have to watch the show on the flip end. I've got dinner plans tonight. Just want to stop in and say hi. I agree with you, Ahura. 100% more love.
Good. I know you will do good things.
Stargazer says hi.
Stargazer.
And, all right, let's go to questions and then we'll go to comments.
Okay.
Questions. This one is from Renner. Why would it be important to some to open a portal to the fourth heaven?
It would be important to some to open a portal to the fourth heaven only because they are seeking a way of escaping. The fourth heaven will boot them right back here, though, because you're here to evolve. You're not here to escape. People are always seeking to open portals so that they can go to a different world. But see, you have to understand something. That world can be here, manifest in all of us. You can evolve, yet stay in your body. And this is something that people fail to realize. It's unfortunate because it causes a total loss of grounding and space neuroses. So when they're trying to open a portal, it's because they're trying to find a way to go through that portal and cease their existence here. The universe is a lot smarter than that. Just take my word for it. Hope that helps you out.
Next question is from Paul S. He says, I enjoyed your show and I have a question. Could you give us your general feelings about sensing energies from physical locations? Not energies involving people, energies involving the actual location.
The actual place.
Thank you.
I understand what you mean. Well, this is something that I do all the time. In other words, I search for, well, it's not really search. It's more like I see different areas and how an area has been affected by the people that are there, or how an area has been affected by an event. Some areas will give you energy, some areas will take energy, and they can all be used if you know how to use them. For instance, if you go to the beach, it's a very wonderful recharging place, but depending upon what events have taken place there, whether they be celestial or whether they be human-based, or even earth cataclysmic, they can recharge your energy or utterly drain your energy, which is why you need to make yourself aware so that you know that just going to the beach isn't going to make everything all right. There are different portions of the beach that you need to be on and different portions that you do not need to be on. You just have to kind of feel it out. Remember, the elements, earth, fire, wind, air, electricity, they are all sentient, whether we choose to believe that or not. You have to be able to communicate with them. Now, I have a wonderful relationship with the elements. And there have been times where I was doing a demonstration of communicating with the elements that people thought I could control the wind. Well, no one can control the wind, not even those silly people spraying dust all over the place. The wind is a sentient being. You may be able to influence the wind, or you may be able to curb the wind a little bit, but eventually it will go through whatever it is that you're trying to do with it. As far as myself, I have a good communication, a line of communication with the wind, and a good relationship with the wind, so I can request certain things. But that's all you can really do ever, is to request that this piece of earth support you, or the wind support you, or fire support you, or water, or even electricity. You have to understand that these elements are alive. And what I mean by alive is that they are every bit as alive and sentient as you or me. So you have to regard them like you're talking to another being, or else they will teach you a lesson. And you can take my word for that, because I've been at the brunt of one of those lessons. Well, actually a couple of them. But understand that these are all real beings. Listen, Our universe is magnificent. It has all of these great things, and they're the things that are behind the things. You know, there are the elements that are behind the elements that allow us to be able to perceive. See, it's all just energy, but because of all of our makeup and our relationship with the elements, we are able to digest them. We're able to process them so that they actually sustain us. And remember, this is a basic principle. And I don't care if you're a scientist, I don't care if you're a metaphysician, I don't care if you're a mystic, an alchemist, a witch, a warlock, a sorcerer. I don't care what you are. This is a universal truth. Only life can support life. And since only life can support life, then you have to understand that nature in and of itself is alive. Alive and understands every single thing that you say to it, understands every single thing that you do to it, understands every single place that you walk. There is a recording of every single step that you have taken energetically on the earth. There is a recording of every time that you whisper your words into the wind or you think a thought. Remember, thought being focused electromagnetism and therefore electricity. You have to think of these things. The friction in your body is based upon fire, and fire is in the very air, so that you are able to move about and breathe. You have to be water. You have to have water. Without water, there's no life, which basically means without fire, air, earth, water, or electricity, there is no life. Never mind the periodic table of elements, just to say that. But these 5 basic elements, and listen, I am not speaking about movies right now, okay? So, no, the 5th element is not love. No, the 5th element is not spirit. One is a principle, one is a concept, okay? An element, okay? Plain and simple. Electricity. No electricity, no life. Let's just get real simple about it, okay? But understand that they have lives of their own. And it's because they have lives of their own that we have lives. And that's just the truth. Now, you asked me what's my take on it. My take could last for weeks because my take is basically my experience. Just understand this. They are alive and they hear you. And it's because that they are alive that you are able to hear. You cannot separate them. We need to be more like them. They are in complete oneness. If we are more like them, many of our troubles would cease. So that's kind of my take, and I hope that helps you out. What do you got? For those of you that have just joined the show for the first time, I tend to be rather long-winded, so I apologize for that. What was some of the comments?
We have comments. Natalia says, I'm super angry. I can't see how I'm supposed to stay positive when people are being murdered for being alive. I think she says, I have some witch in my veins, and love and peace is nowhere in my immediate future. This planet sucks so much right now.
I understand. I do understand how you feel. But understand this. You're a person that has some spiritual value. And like you said, you have that witch thing going on. And the first rule of being a witch is what? Harm no one. You defend yourself. And you have to reach down and find some peace. Because people like you that have the presence that you have influence other people. And it's up to you to influence other people so that more do not die. We need to help them, the good officers. We need to help them. Help them locate the bad ones. And you do that by using that magic that you know. And if you find someone out there that's doing things that they know that they're not supposed to be doing on the other side, a civilian thing, you let them know that it is wrong and it can end in nothing else but bad. Not that that happens all the time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm angry about that young man too, both of them. And I'm angry about a lot of other ones, because being a telepath enables me to see what really happened. I'm not frightened. I'm not terrified. I'm angry. But see, I had good teachers. And my teachers taught me to channel that anger into something that would actually help, which is exactly what you need to do. To reach inside. Reach inside and find your light. It is there. Do something, but do something that is actually going to be constructive. Yelling and screaming is never constructive. Educate people, talk, find ways to expose the darkness. Demand justice, but demand justice like a human being. I hear people talking all the time how they hate this country. You hate what's happening in this country. I am not capable of hate. However, I do not like what has happened. I am not satisfied with it, and it makes me angry. But it makes me angry enough to communicate to you, with you. It makes me angry enough to reach down deep inside myself and use all of the intelligence that I have been given to communicate in such a way that it will change your heart, that it will change the heart of other people. And maybe I can send my energy through to you so that it goes through to someone else, and so on and so on and so forth, which is what we need to do. It's been said that the greatest force on earth is love. Let's find out. You can do this. I know you can. All right. What else have we got as far as common?
We have questions now.
Yes.
Oh, another Chisel Chest asks the same question. How does one stay positive with all of the events in the last few days?
Discipline. My teacher taught me long ago that discipline is freedom. The more disciplined you are, the freer you are to be. Let your life be about discipline. Find something in you that needs discipline and discipline it. Most people that are frustrated because they are not being heard. And some of the times when they are not being heard, it's because they are not communicating in such a way that they can be heard. That's it. Hold on a second. $29, 11-2. Okay, so you're a 29, 11-2. Okay, and since you're a 29, 11-2, what that means is that you have a way of standing independent even when you're with other people. Okay, and since you have that particular way, you can see both sides of things. You don't have any problem seeing both sides of things. What you have a problem with is bringing those both sides together. Okay, now you are a logician, and since you're a logician, I'm going to talk to you in this way. Understand that if you've got two opposing forces or two forces that are powerful, it's the things that are on the inside of those forces that will make it weaken. There are bad apples on both sides. We need to find the bad apples. Do you understand? Okay? Now, I know you understand this because you're a logician. As a matter of fact, you can't help being a logician. You're probably always counting inside your head. I know you are. And since you are always counting inside your head, you're counting on options. The problem is that you never really bring them together, which is why you get frustrated. Normally, you would be patient, but you lost your patience over the last couple of months. And that's understandable, but you can get it back again. So let's just open this up. What causes violence? Anybody? What causes violence? I want you to think about that for a second. The answer is very, very simple. Okay? It's really quite simple. The thing that causes violence, I want you to think about this, is unkindness. Okay? You've been unkind. People have been unkind to you. Everybody's being unkind to each other. You don't have to be nice. Nice is something else. Nice is lying, cheating, and stealing. Nice people do that. What you want to be is be kind. You want to find a way to be kind. How we say it in hula is you want to find a way to spread the aloha. You want to find a way to open that love and send it out there. Just because someone yells at you doesn't mean that you have to yell back. You can sit there and just kind of look at them and say, okay, are you done? When it comes to a point in time where you have to yell, then yell, fine. But don't walk away angry. You know how to find this. You're asking me a question that you already have an answer to. The answer is simple. Refer to your nature. Your nature is a nature of love. Your nature is a nature of kindness. Your nature is a nature of understanding how to stand side to side with someone, be independent. So do that. Understand that there's a good and bad to every single thing. The police are not all bad. In fact, the majority of them are not. And for you people that say bad things about the Black Lives Matter movement, no, they're not all bad either. It's just a few of them that infiltrate, that go and do bad things. And hopefully that movement will root those people out and tell them, no, we don't need that. We don't want that. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to cause people harm. We're not here to cause people to be afraid. We are here to make a statement.
I have a few questions.
Okay? But that's how.
Ranting.
Okay, go on. I'm not ranting. Be quiet.
We have a question from Nathan Weatherden. I recently produced a glossary which defines most or / all of terms. Where'd it go? Stop. Terms that need to be grasped in order to understand mind-influencing technologies. There's lots and lots of science to back up things like synthetic telepathy, remote influences on emotions, actions, etc. It is all possible.
Yes, we know that.
I'm trying to get to the point here. Oh, that's not a question. Why was that posted? He just wants you to look at what he wrote and wants your feedback.
Okay, well, my feedback is simple. I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've known this stuff for years and years and years and years and years. Okay,
Okay.
If you have a question, I'll be more than happy to answer it for you, though.
Michelle has a question. She says her daughter Roz is wondering if spirits can see on the other side or if they can see us.
Yes, to both. They can see on the other side and they can see us. And they can hear us too.
Mm-hmm.
They hear us all the time. We're pretty loud to them, as a matter of fact. We're really loud to them. We think extremely loud because we all have something to prove. Hi, Roz. So tell her I said hi.
Chisel's chest says frustration. Sheila says fear about what causes violence. Smiley says ignorance and lack of education. And Chiseled chest says thanks. regards to your response.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila has a question. She says, I've been experiencing a whirling sensation around my head when someone is thinking of me. It makes me extremely dizzy and off balance. Is there a way to stop people from invading my space?
There is. You need grounding at that particular moment. I showed someone this a little while ago. There's a hand thing that you can do. If you just follow this, just make a chain link with your forefinger and thumb, interlock them, and then clasp the rest of them and put them over your third circuit. Your third circuit is where most of your psychic imprint will come, and it will actually cause the other ones to just kind of take a defensive maneuver, and you'll be able to keep those people from thinking at you, or at least you'll be able to be impervious to their thinking at you. Another thing that you can do is find something that will ground you, and obviously coffee is a good grounding for those of you that do not eat meat. For those of you that do, beef is always really, really good. For those of you that have copper is one of those things that actually helps you out. No, you don't have to walk around with aluminum foil on your head. There are many ways you can get up and do some physical work, and that physical work will actually bring whatever astral or mental imprint that is focusing on you down, so that you'll be able to deal with it until you can get to a better space. Those are just a few. For those of you that are interested in psychic self-defense, and that's what that's called, I do teach classes. I teach classes via Skype and in person. And if you're interested in classes, you can just give us a shout out to unicorn-cove.com, and we will www.unicorn-cove.com, and we'll talk to you about classes and set up something that will be customized to your needs. Or you can give us a call at area code 207-347-5686, and we will again talk to you about those things. For those of you that are wondering, I don't teach my classes for free. For those of you that are interested in psychic self-defense or paranormal investigation or psychic development, this is my livelihood. This is not my hobby. This is who I am. But by the time I am done with you, you will be able to defend yourself against such attacks. The problem is that you're very sensitive to those things. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, I've run into all of you empathic people that are like cosmic octopi that are just sucking in everybody's imprints and energy, and you don't know what's happening to you, because energy is not one of those things that you can separate. Energy is all one. But what you can do is you can reform it so that it becomes part of your defense mechanism, and therefore it does not affect you. So if you're interested in classes, please let me know. What else have you got?
Sheila says thank you.
You're very welcome. And what else have you got?
That's it for now.
Yeah, again, you guys are being really quiet. I'm sorry I had to rant at you, but I really need to address the situation that is going on in our country. I love my country, man. I mean, I love my country.
Bernie endorsed Hillary.
So I heard, and I'm not much to say about that.
No, he should have run independent.
Yeah, he should have run independent, but there's not a whole lot I can say about that at this juncture. Heck, like I told you, I would run for president, but then, I would run for president, but I don't know if you could have called me a president. I mean, I would have been more like, okay, this doesn't happen anymore.
The Rock for president, should I say.
Yeah. So if any of you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. And I want you guys to think about what it is that we've talked about this evening. I mean, really, we have an opportunity here. I know that it's dark out there and it's just very mean out there, but we have the opportunity to take that and turn it around. Now, many have tried, and we've had many, many role models that have taken the worst negativity and turned it into something positive. But if we all do it together, perhaps we'll be an unstoppable force. And that's really what it's all about. Unstoppable force. Okay. Have anything else at all?
Chisel Chest says, may I ask you about your tattoos?
Yes, I am Maori, and this is my statement. For those of you that do not know, I am Polynesian. I am Maori. And this was my statement. I grew up in California, and talk about my birth and all that other stuff. But since I knew who my father was and found out who my father was or what my father was, I have done everything I possibly could do to study that end of my culture. And this was my statement to let myself and everybody else know that I am not hiding who I am. There are a lot of things that people say about tattoos and so forth, but I had to make my statement in such a way to show them, listen, I really don't care what anybody thinks about it. This is who I am. And there are people who are willing to wear their culture on the inside. I have my culture on the inside. I wanted to wear it on the outside. These are not some fashionable thing. This talks about who I am, the people that mean the most to me, the type of warrior that I am, the type of man that I am. And it's all written all over me. And I wear it proudly. So that's who I am.
You saw nothing.
Daffy. And this is my sidekick. This is my daughter, Kazi.
Chisel Chest says, how does one gather the strength to stand alone when surrounded by many?
You just do it. You stand up. You stand up. And if there are those that were willing to stand with you, then you are not alone. But if you see something that needs to be stood for, and you know that it needs to be stood for in your heart, then be willing to stand alone. If no one else stands with you, stand alone. If no one else is willing to do the right thing, then you do the right thing. Don't be influenced by other people's weakness. I've had to stand alone on a lot of things. And so that things are right. If it was me all by myself fighting for the right of humanity to be against Satan himself, I would do it. And that is the truth. Sometimes you have to stand. And even if you're quaking in your boots, even if you're scared beyond belief, be willing to stand. You find it in yourself to do so. That's how. I've had to do it many times. It never gets any easier. It's always worth it. At least I feel clean. Hope that helps you out. What else have you got?
Sheila says she's totally interested in classes.
Awesome. Then
Call.
you can contact us a little later after the show, and we'll talk about it, or you'll talk with Kazi about it. And then I'll do an interview with you, and we'll determine what's going to best suit you. Awesome. Is Eva still there?
I don't know.
Eva's going to come visit at some point.
All right. Okay. Eat.
Good.
And
We can eat food and we can dance, and you'll
said.
have a great time.
Mhm.
And then we will initiate you into the family.
Yep.
Are there any more questions at all? I feel like you're all just kind of listening to me talk.
They guess, yeah. Rant away. Rant away.
I always do. when there's something to be ranted about. Remember, love is the answer. Everybody jump on the love train. In fact, I'm going to play that tomorrow.
I don't know if
At
we
the
can.
bakery.
Oh, at the bakery. Okay.
I can play whatever I want.
Guest says, why does lightning follow some people like me?
Because you have a high amount or an affinity with electricity, just like I do. That's why. We all have a predominant element. And sometimes either that or someone's trying to show you something. And I would listen if I were you. You know, just it usually means that there's something that the lightning is trying to tell you. And perhaps you should just listen to it. If you sit down and listen, the message will become clear. Just sit and listen. I'll tell you a story. One time, my teacher was showing me some discipline, and put me on a discipline that I had to do, and it had to do with me centering myself and focusing. Because, you know, as a young man, I was very, very, very talented, very gifted, very strong, just very undisciplined, you know, and that's never good. So she gave me an order, and one of the things that I used to do was go out dancing nightly, you know, just go hit the club scene and use my gift to see who I could get a date from, and etc. You know, things that young men do. And I just happen to be a young telepath, man.
You were cheating.
Whatever, you know. So she told me, okay, we don't need for you to go out this evening. You need to stay home and do this, do a few things, okay? Because you need to really focus on this, and it's probably not the best night for you to go out. I did anyway. I did anyway. And there happened to be a storm, and this was like the first time that I did it. I did it like twice, but the first time, whatever. The first time I did it, there was this monstrous storm, man, like serious. And I already knew that, you know, my dominant element is electricity. So I'm out. I heard this thunder rolling from the distance, and I'm sitting in this place called House Hut, and I'm listening to the storm get closer and closer, and I'm like thinking, I'm going, no, that's. But all the while inside, see, this is where being a telepath, it's kind of makes you just, damn, I can't get away with anything. You know, so I'm sitting there, and this storm is moving closer, and I'm feeling it and hearing it moving closer, and there's lightning that's happening, and everybody in the restaurant is going, oh, and I'm going, oh my God. And so all of a sudden, it starts rumbling like it's stopped right over me. Like the whole entire storm stopped right over me. And I mean, these are like huge lightning bolts, and this is in Los Angeles, you know, so or Long Beach, California, and I'm sitting there sweating bricks, knowing that either I attracted it because that's just what I do, or someone's trying to show me something. So I close and I get out and into my car, and I could have sworn my car got struck by lightning, and I am not kidding.
Did it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Did you check your car afterwards?
No, I didn't want to know.
So what, you just leave your car there?
I checked like a week later, and I saw some marks, but I said, no, that can't. But anyway, the whole night I did not sleep. Why? Because the lightning charges a person with energy, and I couldn't go to sleep. And I thought this whole time about the fact that I had went out and disobeyed my teacher's orders.
That's what you get.
And I'm sitting there just nervous and thinking it's the end of the world, because these were not just ordinary lightning bolts. They were like lightning bolts that made it sound like the Battle of 1812. You know, just, it was bad. And it was all centered around me. It felt like I was being followed, like around. So the next day I woke up going, oh, I'm alive. I at the end of the day, I slunk in to see my teacher, and she said, "Did you go dancing?" And I went, yes. She goes, must have been something with the storm, huh? I went, yeah, yeah. So it's one of those things. It's your chief element. Someone's trying to talk to you. And that's just the way that it is. And I think that you know when it's trying to talk to you. Okay. Hope that helps you out. Just don't do things you know you're not supposed to. Okay.
I'm gonna hold that, to you next time. You're
Whatever.
like, I told you not to do that, Cosmo. I'm like,
Yeah, you can't hold that to me because you always do what I tell you not to do. Say, what have you got there?
Sheila asks, how do you manifest abundance and your life purpose in a generalized way?
Well, first off, there is no generalized way. You have to know what it is that you're asking for. And you have to know why you're asking for abundance. What you want to ask for is a sure prosperity, not abundance. Because if you ask for abundance, you can have an abundance of poverty. You can have an abundance of pain. You can have abundance of a bunch of negativity, and that's not something that you want. So you have to be more specific. What you want is prosperity. And then decide what type of prosperity that you're asking for. Remember, the universe is this giant anything box, but you have to be specific about what you want. You go and you say, I want a horse, and someone brings you a toy horse, you can't get upset because you got brought a toy horse and you weren't specific. And this is just how it works. This is how it is. You can manifest, or you want to know what your life path is. Usually a person would come to somebody like me and I would sit down and have a chat with you and say, okay, we got it. But it's usually something that you love to do. Okay, what would you do that you really, truly love to do? Just for the sake of doing it all the time, that you view as helping humanity, that you view as helping yourself. If you can find that one joy, that one thing that you love to do, that's where you start. As far as prosperity goes, ask for a show of prosperity. Then do something. Do something to help your prosperity come. That's how it works. Hope that helps you out.
Eva says, yes, still here, just trouble with the net. Looking forward to meeting my new family in person. It will be a great adventure.
Awesome.
Easy says, love the show. Missed most of it tonight because I was helping make dinner, but I'll catch it later. My question is, what is it when your forehead is tingling? Sometimes my forehead tingles randomly, and I think it's something I should be doing at that moment, but I don't know what.
Well, sometimes it's just alerting you to an energy shift. It may have many different functions, and if you're the type of person that that happens to, and if the tingle is right about there, then you're probably dealing with knowing something, something that your signals are trying to elevate to a level where you know something is about to happen, or perhaps something needs to happen. So the next time you felt that, what I would do is just sit down calmly and ride the feeling. Don't try to wipe it away. Don't try to focus on it. Just ride it until. Don't try to think too hard. Just ride it until the answer comes. It's happening at your sixth circuit level, so that means that your vision, the type of vision that you would develop, is what we call no seeing. Okay, so next time just write it out until an answer does come to you. But when the answer does come to you, don't just negate it and say, oh no, that can't be it. Investigate. Okay, write it all the way out. And that brings up another point that I have to say. Oftentimes our intuition tries to speak to us in different ways, but what we do is, because it's so fantastic, or it's so different, or it's so wide or outside, we will negate it, or we'll just say, oh no, that can't be it, when it most likely is that very thing. Okay, so Another thing that I might tell you all to do is there's this phenomenon that is going around right now that's called Pokemon Go. Dude, that's a trick. That's a trick. If I were you, I would
Why?
just let it go.
Why is it a trick?
Because it is. It was developed by companies that are actually into mind control. Just telling you. So you might just leave that be for a while.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you won't. Don't worry about it. It's just a warning to them. Okay. All right. So is there anything else?
Yes. Eva says, a guest says, thank you, and yes, it does help, LOL. Sheila says, awesome response, yes, it did, and Easy says, thanks, in regards to their question.
Wonderful.
Chisel Chess asks, what was the primary moment when you realized that you were a telepath?
3 years old. I've been this way forever. At first, I thought that everyone was this way, but you find out very quickly that they're not. And there was no shift. It wasn't a big moment. It was really quite natural for me. Like I said, I hit the deck being a telepath. That didn't, I didn't get shocked. I didn't rock back and forth saying, oh, there's so much pain. I can't cope with everything. No, I didn't have those moments. It was very natural for me. I knew that my task was to be able to say or describe what it is that I saw. So I found ways to do that. I found ways to use that gift. I knew that it was a huge space that I had to occupy. So I set out to master a few things. And then those few things turned into a lot of things. But that's the way that a telepath is. A telepath is like a giant. Being a telepath is like being a giant computer that has to have things to process. So if I saw something that I wanted to do, I would just do it. I would set out to do it, to learn about it. And I'd learn about it by talking to the people that did it. And by having that conversation, I could do what they did. And it's not hard necessarily to explain. It's just maybe difficult to understand that I can do anything that I choose. You hear people say they can do anything they set their mind to. That's a literal thing for me. And I have to do that. I have to do things. I have to occupy the space. That's why, I do so many different things and do them all at the same time. I see a lot. Some things I see, I don't say because they wouldn't do any good for you to hear them. I will just give you solutions, which is why we are here on Ask the Unicorn.
Eva asks a question.
Sure.
She says, so how about magnetic fields in regards to love?
In regards to love, magnetic fields are magnetic fields. Love is something that people place there. Love is a very powerful force. It just depends on where you're willing to place your magnetic field or your magnetism. If you love something and you truly love something, you'll always want to bind with it. You'll always want to join with it. You'll always want to be one with it. Okay? But understand that that's a choice. People gravitate to those things that they love. They choose those things that they love. It's just how we're built. We're made that way. But remember, you have to understand what love is. Love is all-encompassing. A better word would be oneness. You're being one with something, and you seek to be one with something or someone. And then you do everything to make sure that you can become one. You do everything. Your whole world is like this. I seek to be one with the universe, and therefore my life is about the universe. My life is the universe. The universe is my life. And that means the universe in all of its complexity. Therefore, I'm only a doorway. I'm a doorway between the universe and this place. So there's always a magnetic pull towards the beyond. There's always a magnetic pull towards the greater evolution, the greater answers, the greater accomplishments, the greater knowing. It's the same as a small body of water that seeks to be part of the greater body of water. And then what you're supposed to do is, once you find that magnetism, you surrender to it. We have been taught to fight it. We have been taught to do everything except for what it is that we love. Like, you loved Kazi's dancing because Kazi has dedicated herself to what she loves. And the only person she has to prove herself to is me. No, and she's already done that.
I don't need to prove myself to you.
You prove yourself to me every time you try to dance, because if I don't like it, you have to do it again.
Okay, you put it in that perspective.
Okay.
But
all the same, what she loves is what she loves. I support what she loves. Plain and simple. She doesn't have to prove anything to anybody out there. Nobody else in this world has to be proud of her. I'm proud of her just because she's breathing. And that's because I understand love. You see, in your mind, love is point A to point B. In reality, love has chasms and hills. It has lefts and rights. But if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to travel the path of love, then travel the path of love. After a while, it will actually pull you in it. It will become your current. It will become your magnetic pull. It will shift where it shifts, and you will be shifted with it because of your oneness with it. As I said, there are three things that are the most powerful force in the universe: faith, hope, and love. They form something that is called soul force. And so it is. Hope that helps you. Now understand, when you're here as my daughter, you will keep promises to yourself. True?
Yep. He won't let you get away with not doing it. No excuses. You can't give him excuses.
But I will share in your joy of accomplishing. And then the only person that has to be proud of you is you. So, I hope that helps you.
One more question. Kelly asks, who are these gray beings, people that are often mentioned?
Grays?
Wow. Yes, who are these gray beings that people often mention in some abduction cases?
Grays. They are third and fourth dimensional beings that come from another place that have inhabited here for quite some time that we just don't see, because they understand how to shroud themselves. And they are bad guys. Most of them. Not all of them, but most of them are bad guys. But there are others that come that are good guys that kind of pursue them. You see, the universe has all over light and darkness, bad and good, not just here. We're just kind of retarded about it. They're grays, they're third and fourth dimensional beings that think that they're hiding from someone when they hide behind clouds or even hide in the cloud or project the illusion of a cloud or, just hide in trees and shadow themselves because they really believe that well, no, that's not true. They do know that there are people like myself that exist. And they do know that we are evolving as a race. They do know that. And they're trying to study us to see what we can take and what we can't take and how they can blend with us and how they can't blend with us and how we're made so that they can replicate it and all that good stuff. Basically, I think that they're being rather cowardly. But are they real? Yes, they are real. Do some more study on them. In fact, that should be an assignment. Hope that helps you. Anything else, sweet?
Eva says, ha ha ha, ha, love to you.
And you.
All right, that's it.
All right, what time is it?
8:12.
Okay. I would like to thank you all for joining us on tonight's show. It's been a good show. Please tell your friends about the show. The more people that come, the more I get to speak to, the more I get to teach. I enjoy this show, and I'm sure that you all enjoy this show. Write your questions down because my energy is such that many of your questions may fly out of your head when you're sitting right in front of me, and then you remember them later. It's always a good idea to write them down. Remember the things that I've said this evening. They will help you. Do things in love. Find ways to do things in love. Make your acts of kindness. Okay? And I don't mean random acts of kindness because there is no such thing. Kindness is never random. Okay? Remember, we are one race. We are one race here. We have different shades, we have different expressions, we have different sexes, we have different creeds, we have different cultures, but we are one race. Let's help each other. Say the prayers for those families that have lost loved ones. Make your prayers sincere and real. I will see you all next week. I'm Ahura Z and Kazi. Unicorn out.